thousands of Amazon viral products, but how many do you actually buy again? Today, we're skipping the one-hit wonders, and I am sharing 10 products that I repurchase over and over. Even though I already knew immediately what some of my top repurchases were, I did go to my Amazon order history and pulled up each item to see how many times I actually did repurchase them. So I'm going to start with the Stands Out Beauty Sponge that I have repurchased. Amazon says 3 times. I know it's been more than that. Over the years, I have gone in phases where I have not used these, where I've used just a traditional beauty blender, or I've used a foundation brush. But I always go back to the Stands Out sponge. Sometimes it's the only thing I use to apply my foundation, or sometimes it's what I use just to pick up any excess foundation after I have applied it with a foundation brush. Now, I'm aware not everyone loves this foundation sponge as much as I do. Some people think that it's too expensive for what it is. Other people say that they fall apart too quickly. And I have had mine fall apart, but that's after many uses. And another question I always get is, do you use it damp or dry? And it is a little bit confusing because when you first get the sponge, you do want to wet it completely and then squeeze out the excess and then let it sit for several hours. I let mine sit overnight. And from that point on, I always use it dry. This is great to use to apply the foundation itself if you want more coverage. Say you have a sheer to medium coverage foundation and you're hoping to maximize the coverage from it, then you just go ahead and dot the foundation onto your face and then use this to blend it out. If a foundation is truly full coverage, and I feel like, not that I've applied too much, but that it does look a little unnatural because I have oily skin, I like matte and full coverage. So I find by doing this, picking up the excess, it gives my foundation or my base makeup the appearance of looking way more natural. And you can also smush it down and use it to blend out your concealer. And not to worry, I know these all need to be cleaned, but I do have backups that are clean. That's how I know that I have repurchased this more than 3 times. I wonder if Amazon counts how many are in the order. I don't think they do. So if I ordered 2 at a time, it might not show that. Well, regardless, I have purchased this over and over, and I will continue to do so. Next up is a sunscreen. This is the Bondi Sands Broad Spectrum SPF 50 fragrance-free sunscreen. I use this on my body, not my face. This is the best non-greasy, fast absorbing sunscreen that is also reef safe. That is something that I am mindful of, especially when I go to places like Hawaii, where it is very important to consider whether or not your sunscreen is reef safe. I also use this just here in Las Vegas year round. My husband, as well as any other guests we may have over to use the pool, will often use this on their faces as well. And they've told me that it does not irritate their eyes, that it's actually one of the nicest feeling, most comfortable sunscreens they've ever used. So let me see how many times I've repurchased this. It's gotta be a lot. Yeah, it says purchased 5 times, but I know it's more than that. And again, I don't think they count how many are in that purchase, because in the past, I have added 3 to my cart at a time. Now I want to talk about lashes and brows. These lash clusters are incredible, and they're so inexpensive. If you do not like the look of a full lash, and let's be honest, dramatic 2016, 2017 full strip lashes are kind of out. These are so natural. They are so easy to apply. All you need is a tweezers, and if your eyesight is poor like mine, a 7 times magnified mirror. And sometimes I will just put 1 little cluster on the end of my lashes. Today I did 3, but 1, 2, depending on your eye shape, is all you need, and they make such a difference. You do not even need to spend Ardell prices, which can be now anywhere from like $13 to $16 for as many lashes as you get here. And these are like $8 or $9. Actually, let me see. As of right now, it says they're $8.59 for this package. And then I always repurchase this lash glue. People often ask when I speak about false lashes what my favorite lash glue is. And I know these look kind of like yucky at the moment, and they are, which is why I purchased yet another one. This is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive Latex-Free Lash Glue in clear. This also contains aloe. If you have sensitive eyes like I do, this is the glue you want to get, whether you're using a half lash or clusters or a full strip. This is the glue that I swear by. I cannot use duo lash glue. As good as so many makeup artists say that it is. It holds your lashes on really, really well. It just irritates my eyes. And this one does not. I also like that it is brush on. Even though they look kind of yucky, I can still get these to work. In order for them not to get this yucky, you really do have to close them as tightly as possible from the beginning. And I always think that I'm doing that, but then they always end up looking like this for some reason. But the bottom line is I have had no irritation even when I use them looking like this. So I would say I get about 8 weeks before they start looking like this. And then I just spend the $4 or $5 and get a new one. And whenever I go on vacation, I always like to open up just a fresh lash glue. Up next is the NYX Brow Glue. This and the Bay Brow Hold Up Brow Wax are two of my all-time favorite brow setting gels. I have repurchased the Bay Brow, but that comes in a little tin like the Anastasia Brow Wax and also the e.l.f. Brow Wax, but I do think it's better than both of those. But it is $22. But when I use that, I do have to use a separate brush and then dip the brush into the tin and then brush my brows up. What I like about this is that it comes with the brush or the comb built in, and you can unlock it and lock it. The trick to this though is figuring out just how much you need, putting enough pressure on there to get just the right amount out so you don't get too much. But once you run this through your brows, they are there for the day. They are not going anywhere. Those brows are up. And what I've started doing is applying this first, letting it dry, and then going back in with my brow pencil to make those hair-like strokes. This was my second repurchase of this, and I will be making a third and a fourth and so on. And then when it comes to lips, I order Kiko glosses way more than I should. I think you can also purchase these from Ulta, but I've just always bought mine from on Amazon. And I have, oh my gosh, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're just honestly one of the best glosses on the market, and they come in some of the most beautiful shades. I can't remember if I used 05 or 31 today over my lipstick, which I will have linked in the description box. Of course, I'll have all of these products listed and linked in the description box down below. 26 is another favorite of mine. Should I put that one on? No. I want to show you what 31 looks like. I'm pretty sure this is what I already have on. No, maybe not. But I'm okay with this. I like how it's giving me a little bit of lightness in the center. In hindsight, I should have written down the shade I used, but it's either this one or it was 05 that I put on top of a Maybelline lipstick. From the shade selection to the perfect size doe foot applicator to the shine to the fact that it doesn't run outside my lip line like some glosses do. It feels very comfortable on the lips. Now, I know I just showed you all of my glosses in this little box, but something that I have repurchased, I think 5 times, are these clear organizers. And as you can see, this is part of my beauty room setup. and I use these to organize all of my makeup. I chose to organize by brand. Some people organize by category, maybe blushes, lip glosses, eyeliners. I like to do it by brand because I will often do one brand makeup tutorials and then I can just go right to that bin and pull out that bin and use that for the video. Or if I'm looking for a very specific product from a brand, I just go obviously to that brand's bin. These bins are fabulous. They're very sturdy. I think they're the perfect size and depth, especially if you have a similar IKEA unit to what I have. And you get 12 bins for $28, which I personally think is a great deal because I have seen similar looking bins at even Home Goods where they'll want to charge you $8 for one bin. And these are only around $2 per bin. As you can see here, this next product I have repurchased 6 times. It is the Shea Moisture African Black Soap. Now, I do not purchase this for myself. I purchase it for both of my sons. They are 22 and 24, and they swear by this soap for keeping their skin clear. Unfortunately, both my husband and I, when we were their age, we had quite imperfect skin. In our teen years, we had a lot of acne, again, both of us. So it was very likely that our kids were going to have acne as well. My oldest son did go on Accutane when he was in high school. He did 1 round, and honestly, it didn't work that great because once he stopped, the acne sort of came back. So of course, I did my best to help him. And then my younger son, when he got to be about 15, 16, he developed acne as well. And I'm in the beauty industry. I have access to so many great products, and we truly tried everything. I would get things in PR from expensive brands that were for acne prone skin, and I would have them use it, and it just didn't really do much. And then one day, a few years ago, I was watching someone who also was struggling with acne speak about this African black soap and claiming that it had done wonders for her acne. I thought, it's pretty inexpensive. Let's just give it a try. And that's the end of the story. My boys have been using it ever since, and they have me reorder it all the time. I think we used to have it on auto delivery. I don't know what happened. So whether it's you or someone you know, someone you love that is struggling with acne breakouts, I highly recommend at least giving the soap a try because I have seen it work wonders with my own eyes. Now let's close out this video with some clothes. If you know me, you know I love a one-shoulder top. I think they're sexy. I think they're feminine. I just adore them. And I purchased this top in 3 colors. So far. This top is a little bit different. It's similar in that it has the twisty on the shoulder, but this one, it's also from Amazon, has more of a wide, shoulder. This one can be worn on the shoulders. It can be worn off the shoulders. It can be worn asymmetrically like this. It's super comfortable. It feels like it's a top that you would buy from Free People for $80. Now I know what you're thinking. What do you wear under those tops? In case you didn't know, I do have breast implants. I got mine in 2004, a few months after my youngest son was born. And up until pretty recently, I could go either braless or under those tops, I would wear something that I have also repurchased many, many times. In fact, let me see how many times. 6 times I have repurchased these. And the 6th time was yesterday. I bought a new pair of the Go Nipless covers. These are so good, especially under tops like this or tops like the one I just showed you. Okay, I don't have a scissor. Now, of course, if you cannot get away with just a little cover, you could wear those tops with a strapless bra. People always ask me, Risa, what's your favorite, most comfortable strapless bra? I don't have a favorite. I hate bras in general. I just do, especially here in Las Vegas in the summertime. I don't spend a lot of time outdoors. Even if I'm just going to an event and I get warm, I just hate the feel of the under sweat. So these covers, to the rescue. And I believe these do come in different sizes depending on your cup. If you're like A to C cup or a D cup or bigger, they have these little plastic covers. So once you peel off this plastic and use it for the first time, then you can either put it back on the plastic if you want to, or you just stick it back on this plastic cover, and then you put it in the little travel case. I always keep mine in here whether I'm traveling or not. I've recently discovered, though, that even though I have implants, they are not as perky as they were because I've had them for a very, very long time. So I've not repurchased these yet, but I wanted to include them in this video just because I'm talking about these, and I thought, why not share more information if I have it, if you're like me and you want lift with your coverage. So I tried these for the very first time, and I really like them. The brand is Nidor, and I was really impressed. They come in this case, and these actually give you lift. You put these on, and then you lift up. So it brings the girls up instead of just covering. You get the coverage and the lift, and they stay on. I wore these for an evening in Huntington Beach, California, where I was warm and it was humid, and these stuck on, stayed on, no problem. So these I've repurchased over and over. This I will most likely repurchase. I just clean these with soap and water between uses, and I would say that I just sort of use my judgment on when I feel like I want to replace them. You will find that after so many uses, so much on and off, that they will lose their stickiness. And yeah, it's up to you to decide when you just want to have a fresh pair. So there they are, 10 Amazon finds that I have repurchased at least twice, in some cases 5, 6, 7 times, because as I said, I think twice already. I don't believe that Amazon, well, number one, I think if you order the same product in a different shade, Amazon records it as you only purchasing it once because you only purchased that shade once. So if you purchase the same shade, it'll count it as 2. And I also think that, like, let's say I'm buying 2 lip glosses at a time, it will only record, again, the repurchases, not how many I bought. So these are all fantastic finds that I highly recommend and will continue to recommend and repurchase. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. As I mentioned earlier, all of the products will be listed and linked down below in the description box. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. My username is the same on every social media platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.